The rain had stopped only minutes before the evening rush, leaving the city sidewalks slick with silver reflections. Cars hissed over the wet roads, their headlights stretching like blurred stars across the pavement. In the middle of the busy square, a woman in a wheelchair tried to cross, her small service dog tugging gently at the harness, guiding her through the crowd. Her name was Emily Hartman, 34 years old, once a marathon runner, now a survivor of a car accident that had taken both her mobility and the life she had once dreamed of. Only her faithful dog, Maple, a gentle golden retriever, remained by her side, her comfort, her strength, her anchor. People passed her without a glance. That was normal. Emily had grown used to disappearing into the background. But Maple always looked up at her with soft, steady eyes that reminded her she still mattered to someone in this vast, indifferent world. As she reached the corner of the plaza, a group of teenagers stood beneath the awning of an expensive boutique. Their laughter was sharp, echoing like broken glass against the walls. They wore designer jackets, expensive shoes, and the careless confidence of kids who had never known struggle. One of them, tall, blonde, wearing a watch that cost more than Emily's monthly income, nudged his friend. "Look at this," he whispered loud enough for her to hear. "Traffic cone on wheels." His friends laughed. Emily lowered her gaze and kept pushing forward. Maple pressed against her leg, sensing the shift in her breathing. But the teens were not done. Another boy stepped forward, blocking her path. "Where you headed, Grandma?" Emily swallowed. "Please move. I just need to get through." "Or what?" He smirked. "You gonna chase us?" The others cackled. Maple let out a low, protective growl. The blonde boy sneered. "Oh look, the mutt thinks it's tough." He lifted his foot and kicked lightly at Maple's paw. Emily's voice trembled. "Stop, don't touch him." But her plea only fueled them. A girl in the group pulled out her phone, recording. "This is gold," she giggled. "Go on, show the dog who's boss." The first boy stepped closer and delivered a harder kick, not enough to injure Maple severely, but enough to make the dog yelp and jump back, confused and hurt. Emily gasped, reaching for her dog. "Maple, come here." Her wheelchair jerked as another boy pushed the handlebar. "Relax," he snorted. "We're just having fun. Please," she whispered, tears forming. "Leave us alone." "Oh come on," the blonde one said, circling her. "If you wanna be in public, you should expect a little attention." Another kick, this one aimed at Maple's ribs. Maple cried out. Emily screamed, trying to shield him with her limited mobility. "Stop it. Stop hurting him." The girl filming laughed. "This is going viral." Behind them, a man had been walking with his hood up, quiet, unnoticed by the noisy crowd. He had broad shoulders, a firm stride, and the kind of presence that drew attention without demanding it. When he heard the dog's cry, his step halted. His head turned. He saw the teenagers surrounding a woman who couldn't defend herself. Saw the dog cowering. Saw the cruelty. Something inside him snapped. He walked closer, his voice low but cutting through the noise like a blade. "What do you think you're doing?" The teens turned. The blonde one raised an eyebrow. "Ah. Who are you?" The man pulled back his hood, revealing a scar near his temple, sun-darkened skin, and eyes that had stared into wars most people only saw in movies. "My name doesn't matter," he said coldly. "But what you're doing does." The tallest boy scoffed. "Relax, old man. We're just..." "You kick that dog again," the man interrupted, stepping forward, "and you'll learn what real consequences feel like." Something in his tone made the girl lower her phone. The air shifted, thickened, grew tense. The blonde boy tried to regain control. "Back off, dude. This doesn't concern you." The man's lips tightened. "It concerns me." Emily stared at him, hardly daring to breathe. Maple, sensing safety, leaned closer to her wheelchair. One of the boys shoved the man's chest. It was the last mistake he made that day. The man moved with speed and precision impossible for the average person. A grip, a twist, and the teenager found himself on the ground, gasping, his wrist pinned. The group froze. "How?" What are you? Another boy stuttered. The man released the pinned teenager and stood, expression calm but icy. Navy SEAL, he said quietly. Retired, but still capable. Fear rippled through the teens. You assaulted an innocent woman, he continued. And a service animal. That's a felony. The girl dropped her phone. The blonde boy trembled. We didn't mean. I mean, it was just a joke. The SEAL's stare hardened. A joke? Does she look like she's laughing? Emily wiped her tears. The teens couldn't meet her eyes. You will apologize, the SEAL ordered. All of you. They hesitated. His voice dropped lower. Now, one by one, with shaking voices, they apologized, to Emily, to Maple. Their arrogance dissolved into shame. The SEAL nodded toward Emily. You're going to call your parents, he commanded, and you're going to tell them exactly what you did. The blonde boy swallowed. They'll kill me. Better them than the law, the SEAL said. Phones came out. Parents were called. Tears began to flow. Not from the woman in the wheelchair this time, but from the wealthy children who had never been forced to face consequences before. When it was over, they scattered like frightened birds. The square fell quiet again. Emily looked up at the SEAL, her voice soft, trembling. Thank you. I didn't know what to do. He knelt beside her, checking Maple's pulse. Dog's okay, he murmured gently. Shaken, but okay. Emily exhaled shakily. Why? Why did you help me? He shrugged lightly. Because people should. Tears slid down her cheeks. He smiled softly. I'm Daniel, by the way. Emily. Maple nudged Daniel's hand, tail wagging weakly. Daniel scratched behind his ears. You're a brave boy, Maple. Emily swallowed. Most people walk past me. Pretend not to see the chair. Pretend not to hear the insults. Daniel's expression warmed. Then they're looking the wrong way. Emily's voice broke. Thank you for seeing me. He helped guide her forward, walking at her pace. Anytime. As they moved through the square, Emily felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Safety. And something even rarer. Hope. Daniel stayed with her until she reached her apartment building, carrying Maple when the dog's steps grew uneven. He made sure Emily got inside safely, checked her wheels, fixed a loose bolt on her chair, and gave Maple water. When he finally stood to leave, Emily held his arm lightly. Daniel, you saved us. His eyes softened. You saved yourself. You just needed someone to stand beside you. She smiled, small, fragile, but real. Daniel turned to go. Maple barked once, as if thanking him. He paused and looked back. If you ever need help, or even just someone to talk to, I'm around. Emily nodded. The door closed slowly, and as it did, her heart felt lighter than it had in years. Outside, Daniel walked into the fading evening light, his silhouette strong and steady, like a guardian the universe had sent at the very moment she needed one most. And for the rest of the night, Emily held Maple close, whispering to him as he rested his head on her lap. We're safe now, sweet boy. We're safe. And for the first time in a long, long time, she believed it.